Love to Hate, the podcast that asks the question, what do you love to hate?
You are a smelly pirate hooker. And I hate your ass face!
Do you love it?
No!
Do you hate it?
Oh, yeah. Yes! You stupid, ignorant son of a bitch, dumb bastard! I toss in your general direction!
No more foreplay.
I'm Philip Pullman.
I'm Brandon Luna.
So it's time for your weekly dose of Love to Hate.
Wee! That's a new thing. I'm doing it every time now.
Are you?
Yeah,
You're going to alternate between yay and wee?
Yeah, and
All
other
right.
stuff. There might be a
Whatever.
huzzah. I might get a huzzah on there.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
I'm
get a
looking
huzzah
forward.
in there.
I'm now looking forward to that episode when you say huzzah.
All right.
So what's our topic today, Brandon?
Air travel.
Ooh. Air travel, the friendly skies.
Yeah, not so friendly.
Not really. Not
I
really.
hate flying.
I do too.
I don't mind the actual act of flying. Flying, I think, is kind of nice.
Yes.
But it's everything that goes along with getting there, getting on the plane, and then dealing with the people on the okay, yeah, no, I just don't like it. I think I just don't like it.
See, now I'm like you. Being in the air, the takeoff, the landing, that does not bother me.
Mm-hmm.
I am not afraid to fly. What I hate is everything that leads up to it or that is required for me to not only get to the airport, but to my gate and on my flight.
Yeah.
And even then, not so great. I'm 6'2". The airline seat's made for somebody probably about, I'm going to guess topping out about 5'4" if you want any leg room. If you
Right.
want to be comfortable, about 100 pounds. I come in at more than 100 pounds. So sitting in those seats, not comfortable.
Nope.
But yet they keep cramming more and more seats in there and taking more and more leg room because they've got to get the flights fuller because gas has gone up. So not only have I had to take an Uber to the airport, but now I've had to wait through lines so I can check my bag. And depending on the airline, they're either going to charge me extra for my bag because now I'm using more gas because I've weighed down the plane more. And I'll go in with my one little carry-on, and I'm the only guy on the planet who knows what they mean when they say carry-on because every one of those people on the plane is trying to skate in with a bag that does not fit, and they're going to sit there and do everything they can to defy the laws of physics to fit that fucking bag in a space that it will not fit in.
Yep.
And they're going to hold up the flight. So now I can't walk onto the plane because now I've got to sit there standing, keeping my head ducked while everybody stares at me because the guy in row 22J is trying to jam the bag in.
Yep.
And I got to get to row 25.
With a human body in it.
Exactly.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's cheaper.
Yep.
And then, you got the show with the drink. I don't know. That's Pavlovian to me. You come around with the drinks and the nuts and the whatever they hand out, and everybody's like, ooh, it's time for the free drinks. Guess what, sweetheart? They're not free. You got charged for them. That free soda probably cost you $37.50 to the price of the ticket.
And God forbid you order a drink like a Bloody
my
Mary.
God. Yeah.
$14, $15 for that.
Meanwhile, if you sit in first class, you got tons of space, but you're going to pay for it. Just being stuck in there. And then, okay, now we're taxing. Now we're going to sit here. By the way, we're conserving fuel and we're dicks. So while we're sitting here in this steaming hot tube, we're not going to turn on the air until we're actually airborne. So enjoy the smell of the guy next to you.
Yep.
It's a horrible experience.
I always love that one. They're like, well, while we're taxiing, if you would please lower your window so you can, keep the airplane just a little bit cooler.
Turn on the damn air conditioning.
Right. It's freaking bastards.
There's a reason there's people freaking out on flights.
Let me ask you this. Why is it that all airports are completely different? Why didn't they get the same guys that design schools, that every single school looks the same, and get that guy to design your airports? Because they're all a fucking mess.
They are.
I mean,
Vegas, one of the worst.
Yeah. You get a nice airport where it's, DFW is not the best, but I like the fact that I can get off get to the gate, even before the gate, before I even step in, I can drop my bag off at a
Right.
guy. They can take the bags, do my thing. I go do this, go through stupid TSA and do all that bullshit. But not every airport's like that. A lot of the airports, you got to lug your bag all the way in, go through TSA, then you got to go to the thing and turn it in. It's just a freaking nightmare.
Casey, you've flown into Kansas City, right?
Yes,
KCI?
I have, yeah.
They just recently changed that to where they had restrooms and conveniences on the other side. It used to be once you were in line and you were in the gate area, you were in. There was nothing else there. So if you want to sit, relax, read the paper because you've got a layover, once you're in the gate area, you're stuck.
Yeah.
So you would have to walk out, go, take your potty break, grab your water, whatever, then go back through security. So they finally fixed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Every airport, different system. And leaving the buildings out, why can't the TSA have one model for every airport?
Yeah.
No, sir, you need to hold your ticket while we scan you. No, sir, you need to leave the ticket with your bag while we run that through while we scan you. It's like, make up your mind. No, sir, you need to take your shoes off when we scan you. No, you need to you just figure it out.
Uh-huh.
How about I just go through naked? How about we have a giant room, everybody just goes naked, and then you can check everything and it'll all be in my bag and then I'll get changed.
Yeah,
That'd be an incentive to do sit-ups.
It would be. Yeah, definitely would be an incentive.
Is it wrong to fluff when you go through the X-ray thing?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
a little bit. Yeah,
just
you
checking.
shouldn't do that. Yeah. Keep your hands out of your pocket. You got to raise them up over your
Yes.
head. There's a reason why they do that.
And they have the diagram there in case you can't fucking figure it out from the 12 other guys who just walked through
Right.
before you. And then there's always the clown who doesn't take his shoes off till the last minute.
Yep.
And I don't wear sandals or flip-flops, so I'm always, having to untie. It's like, how could you not do this?
And then there's the guy that once you get through, he's going to take up space, waiting for his bag. He's going to tie his shoes. Like there's a stool you can go sit at over there, or a bench. Get the fuck out of my way.
If you could make
and
it
go do
5
that somewhere
extra
else.
feet,
Yeah.
you're if you'd have worn fucking socks, you wouldn't have to be worried about the fact that you're going to catch athlete's feet for these 5 yards, 5 feet that you're about to walk.
Right.
Just wear some damn socks. That's the other thing too. A lot of disgusting feet at the airport. It's like, that's gross. It's like, please cover those things up. Those are nasty.
Yep.
Go get a pedicure. But they all the TSA guys are different.
Yep.
And
they are.
sometimes they'll just check your bag willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
like, oh, what's that? Or the one that gets me is some of the elderly people that go through.
Yeah.
Not the gentlest hands. Like, come on, Grandma. It's like, I know you're I know you got a cast, but come on, what do you got in there? It's like, dude, come on. She's clearly in pain every time you touch her arm. Leave her alone.
Yeah.
And
then the total lack of follow through. I was over at Colorado coming back from the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival, and apparently there was some football games or something going on at the same time, so the airport was packed. I get to the airport, there's at least 2,000-3,000 people waiting to go through TSA. The lines are ridiculously large. But all of a sudden, we're sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to miss my flight. I've got an hour to get there. There's no way I'm getting through this in an hour. And it starts trucking. And I'm like, whoa, okay. I don't know what's going on, but that's great. You get up to where you finally can see someone, and they're like, keep your shoes on, take your bag. They just totally, all the rules were out the door. They were just trying to get people through. I'm like, wow, this is perfect time for a terrorist to come through here
absolutely.
and just kill everybody.
This is a scary story, and I can only hope that it's gotten better. I doubt it. This would have been November, December of 2001. Mm-hmm. You think back to September, some stuff happened.
Yeah.
So a huge crackdown by TSA at airports. And before getting on the flight, I am talking with a gentleman who is a FBI agent.
Nice.
And we're kind of talking about, hey, man, how has this affected your job? Very affable. I didn't nag the guy like, ooh, tell me all the,
Was his name Burt Macklin?
It was not.
Okay.
Jack
Bauer?
No, it wasn't Bauer.
Okay.
But he's just a nice guy, and we just kind of, random conversation about airports, but I didn't want to badger the guy. But we get up to the line, and he's in front of me at security, and he looks at the TSA agent and says, I'm a federal officer, shows his badge and ID and says, I'm carrying a sidearm. I need to sign the log stating that I'll be carrying a firearm on board. And the agent looks at him and goes, huh? What log? And he says,
no.
The log there's a log that I need to sign stating I will be taking my firearm on board. Huh? Oh, let me go get my supervisor.
Are you saying you have a cheese log? Because you can't bring food onto the flight, sir.
Yeah, because that's more than 2 ounces. So the supervisor shows up. Also no clue, but plays it off with the, oh yeah, the log. Yeah, it should be, is on here? Where'd you put it? Why, it should always be here. He had no clue. Wow. So this guy takes off. 5 minutes later, comes back with it. And at this point, the agent turns and looks at me and just makes a face like, can you believe this shit? comes back, and he signs the log, shows it to the guy, and he goes, "Here you go." The guy's like, "Okay, thanks." He goes, "No, you need to sign it."
Wow.
I'm like, are you kidding? It was just September. You guys still don't have your procedures down? How, that's scary.
Yeah.
And now, because you got some jackass who tries to blow up his undies and his shoes, now you got to take your shoes off before you get on. It's just, and that adds to the stress of it, because a lot of people just hate the act of flying.
Yeah.
Me, it's the claustrophobia, being in that tube and cramped. But you just add that on, and it makes for a stressful,
very stressful,
unhappy place to be.
Yep.
Nobody likes it.
And who's that bathroom made for? Is it made for Slenderman or something? I mean, that bathroom, you can't even
I have
fit in
no
there.
idea.
God forbid you need to take a dump in that thing. There's no way you can fit my ass on that toilet. There's not going to happen.
You can barely turn around to wash your hands, to do anything.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no room there. But now you can be on your iPhone or your iPad or whatever your tablet of choice is.
Well, you have to go into airplane
during
mode.
The flight. And you know what? It's better than, remember when they put the phones in the back seat and you could slide the credit card?
Yeah.
God, is that annoying, because it's bad enough when you're staying in line at the grocery store and you got some chick sitting there talking to the babysitter, or some guy sitting there trying to close his multi-million-dollar deal while getting a loaf of Wonder Bread.
Right.
Now I've got to hear you on the airplane, and of course it's loud, so what are you going to do? Scream into the phone.
Yep.
So now you had to hear that.
Yep.
So I guess to some extent that's gotten better. But honestly, if they just gave me some freaking leg room,
I'd be happy with that. Yeah.
I actually have a way to load a plane that's much faster. Nobody will ever do it. Much faster, I guarantee it.
Oh, do tell.
All right. So on the one side you have what? D through F. The other side you have A and B. So you have the two window seats.
Okay.
So instead of choosing the ultra platinum gold standard triple level executive and letting him on first, or letting the family with 14 toddlers come on board, what you do is you take their tickets and you say, we're now seating all window seats.
There you go.
And you take everybody with a window seat and you let them board. And then they go boom, boom. Then you say, we're now taking everybody who got fucked and has to sit in the middle aisle
right.
or the middle seat. And you let them board. Maybe you let them board on the side with A. So
right.
Either way. Then you say, all of those with an aisle seat, you can now board. And then boom, they board. Now I'm not having to jump up because there's only a window seat left and two people have to get up and block the aisle so that the guy with the window seat who barely made his flight can get on. You just load it that way, from the outside in.
Pretty brilliant.
Thank you. Spent a lot of time bitching about this on a plane to myself, so I've put a lot of effort into it.
Right, right. You weren't bitching to your single-serving friend?
No.
Yeah, how about that? You like people who talk to you on planes, or you like to be left alone?
I made a really good friend on a plane once. We had a middle seat between us, going to Kansas City. Great. She's into comic books and Deadpool, still a friend to this day. But most times, no desire.
Yeah.
The guy sitting there reading Outdoor Life and Outdoor Fisherman and all of that, not necessarily. The business guy wants to tell me how much money he made because he's in pharmaceutical sales. No. Most times I don't meet people on a plane that I want to talk to.
Yeah. I always like the business guy that has a laptop he pulls out and then he's got his phone going too. And he's doing all he's working a multi-million-dollar business deal right there.
You see this spreadsheet? You know what that spreadsheet means? It means I'm important and I'm busy.
And then I got a window seat and he has to move and he's like, oh.
God, how could you just sit there during this flight? You know what? You're losing productivity. Didn't you read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Giants?
Yeah, God forbid. Yeah, it's a giant mess. I mean, between, like you said, getting to the airport, once you get into the airport, like DFW, it's a maze of shit. I mean, for you to find where you're supposed to park, and then you have to wait for the damn thing to take you back to the, it's a fucking nightmare.
That's why I've started Ubering.
Oh, yeah?
To get to the airport. And it's actually, last couple of flights were out of Love Field, $30 from my house.
That's not bad.
Which not bad at all. A lot cheaper than parking.
Yeah.
Now, the last time, it was an old man. Mm-hmm. And he actually almost got us killed several times. Once the four-way stopped by my house because he almost ran into a car that was turning.
Oh, God.
And I did get that trip for free. Uber
nice.
was like, wow, we're sorry. And he kept wanting to drift into the right lane.
Oh, God.
And as you're going down the tollway here and everybody's going 90. Yeah, it was I wasn't going to have a ton of time for my flight, so it's like, man, I don't know. I want to make sure I get there in plenty of time. I've heard security's bad. Had I known that I was going to be delayed for 4 hours, I would have had him pull over and say, look, drop me here at the convenience store and I will call another Uber, but I am not riding with you.
Yeah.
He was
How much would a taxi ride have cost you?
I have no idea. I've never, adapting technology. It's like, well, I could sit there and call a cab company and deal with all of that per mile, or I can just sit there and call Uber and go, okay, $40. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Less hassle.
I need to check on that because that'd be cheaper than parking the car $55 for the week or whatever it is.
And most of the Uber drivers most of the Ubers I've taken, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
One guy, I mean, he had it loaded up back seat. He had all these portable phone chargers, so regardless of what type of phone you had,
nice.
you could charge. He had mints, so if you needed a mint or something,
He's looking
offered you bottled water.
Do they get tips? They don't get tips, do they?
Somebody told me, my understanding was you did not tip.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine or an acquaintance who drives Uber says they can accept tips. So it's like
probably just cash. It's not going to be part of the app, but you can give them cash. Yeah, that type of thing.
Well, should I tip? I don't.
Are you an aisle seat or a window seat guy?
Aisle.
Okay, let me ask you
I'm
this.
too big to
this.
be crammed in.
Are you the guy that once the flight stops and the bell goes off, you stand up automatically?
If I do, I don't go into the aisle. I do it just to stretch.
Okay.
I wait because every row, 1, 2, it should all go chronologically.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. So I will stand if I'm particularly, tense from having sat so long, like on a longer flight. I will stand in my seat and try to stretch, but I will not run out into the aisle, automatically get my bag, and try to run down the aisleway and knock other people out. I will wait till it has cleared out. So
I'm typically a window seat guy. I try to be a window seat guy because I'm not in a super rush to get off the plane. I'm not the guy that I can't stand when people stand up and block the aisle, and then the guy next to me is trying to do the same thing. God forbid I stopped getting the aisle seat because I'm like, I'm going to sit. I'm going to wait till it clears.
We're not
and then
going
I'm go.
anywhere anyway.
You're going to stand for 15 minutes before you can actually leave the plane. So what's the point of standing, putting your luggage in the way, blocking, pissing people off?
Right.
But I stopped getting the aisle seat because I wasn't that guy. And you kind of get forced to be that guy because the guy next to you is now standing up. Can you let me through so I get my bag? I'm like, really?
That's kind of one of the advantages I have. Not many people try to get me to stand up. They're just kind of like, if he's parked, I guess we're going to just stay parked. Earrings and tattoos, sometimes they pay off. But, when I was a kid, I liked the window because, for one, I was smaller. But, looking out, and I would still love to look out, the window. I think it's cool. But if I'm going to have somebody in that middle seat, no way. It's just too claustrophobic. I need to feel like I'm at least out a little bit.
Yeah.
And, of course, then you got to watch your elbows because
the only thing I don't like about the window seat is if you do have to, God forbid you have to use a restroom or if you got the squirts, you're going to
I need everybody to get up.
Yep. So
and by the way, I don't know how long I'll be in there. Could be 5 minutes, could be 20. You could be comfortable back into your book and or movie, and that's when I'm going to make you get back up.
Exactly, yeah.
So, that is a pain. So, the thing, go before you get on the plane.
Yep. Maybe they shouldn't have restrooms on planes.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
Everybody gets their Depends before they go on. Here you go.
Like in NASA.
Right?
Just give diapers to everybody and be like, hey, here, this is the way it goes. At some point, somebody who is not elderly and does not require diapers has worn them on a plane to avoid that.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
It has happened.
There's probably people that are deathly afraid of the airport bathrooms or the airplane bathrooms, so
yeah,
that's got to be a phobia, I'm sure.
Probably.
And then there's the guy that wants to be on the Mile High Club. Oh, yeah.
I
don't think you can do that anymore. Yeah.
Did the bathrooms used to be larger?
I
guess
they've
always been small.
They've always been bigger in movies when they show that, so yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I think those are sets, though.
Well, yeah, because otherwise how'd the guy in the airplane cut himself shaving?
Right.
Yeah, or how'd you have the terrorists go in and, shoot the guy in the lavatory?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Umpteenth.
Because you know what? Thinking about
fight
my
scenes
international flight, the bathroom wasn't any bigger.
Yeah.
The plane was bigger. It had more bathrooms, but they were still tiny.
Seats
So-
aren't comfortable either.
No. Not unless you're in for, you know what I would love to be able to afford at some point is that for international flights, that middle class, like, hey, you're not first class, but you're not low class, you're middle class. And they actually, on this flight, they were beds.
Nice.
And it kind of, so you could kind of lay there and sleep on this 13-hour flight. I was like, that'd be kind of cool. There was also another airline that did standing seats. So they kind of reclined, but you were more so seated. So you had plenty of leg room, but you were not actually standing. You were more tilted back. And it looked really I mean, it was padded and everything, but you were just kind of leaned back. So pressure off your back, pressure off your legs, but you're just
Interesting. I've never seen that. No.
No, I wasn't an American airline.
Right.
And by that, I mean a domestic carrier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not specifically American.
You have a particular airline that you are not a fan of?
I've always liked Southwest, even with the cattle call. This last time I was on them, it was after they had computer problems, so it was not my favorite. But they sent, you know what? They sent me a half-off coupon.
Nice.
And I entered a contest on Facebook today, so I could be getting 4 tickets and $5,000 in cash.
Wow.
So,
I'm not a fan of Southwest. I don't like not knowing where I'm going to sit.
I know.
I like having my seat.
I don't like that either. I don't like the way they board.
Invariably, I'm going to get a middle seat if I go Southwest. Always happens.
They say that helps them, with their on-time percentage. And if they would do what I told them to do, which is the whole from the outside in, they'd be fine. Usually I'll fly American. I really got hooked on flying American when I lived in Kansas City and would come back to Texas. But at the time, they were offering more leg room. That's since gone away. So unless you've got the emergency exit, you're done.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I like American. I like Delta, I think, is the other one that I liked. I've had good experience on Delta the last couple of times I've flown it, but,
I think Delta, the last Delta flight I had was horrible.
Oh, yeah?
We got delayed because, again, some jackass cramming something into the overhead that didn't fit. And so the flight attendant comes by and decides she can make it fit. She pounds on the door to get it to close till the hinge breaks and it's hanging.
No.
Yes. So you know what that means? You can't fly like that. So we're delayed until they can get a maintenance guy to come up there and tape the thing up so that it will not fall during the flight and hang a warning sign. It's like, you know what, lady? If you would have just made him take it down, put it in the front or something, you wouldn't have had this. But you're trying to sit here and cram the door. Now you broke it. Now the flight attendants actually delayed us on top of the jackass who decided to bring this on board even though it wouldn't fit. And you get that all the time. You get to 2 carry-ons. It's like, okay, so one above where you're seated, one underneath. Look, if you're seated on the left side, your bag goes on the left side. Just because you and your wife don't have to have your luggage go together, but it should just be 2 small bags. Boom, they fit right there.
Yeah.
Well, I got to put mine long ways because that's where the hand. Whatever. They're always finding shit to put on there.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, just because you have your 2 carry-ons and the other person you're with has none doesn't mean you need a 3rd bag. You're putting all that. Well, no, that can't be. It needs to be in this one by itself because it's fragile and breakable and precious. Then don't put it on the plane.
Right. Yeah.
That's what FedEx is for.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's always some clown trying to skate the rules, and they just make it miserable for the rest of us. If everybody would just carry the right size bag, we'd be fine.
So why is there no airlines when you got Elon Musk, who's got a crap ton of money or whatever his name is? Why is there no airlines that will cater to people who do want to smoke on a flight and want more legroom and want a little more luxury? You don't see those.
You'd pay for it.
Yeah, you'd pay for it, but I mean, that doesn't exist. You had the Playboy thing for a while there, and that went away.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it would be, think about it. There's not many of us smokers. So that would be a very limited audience. And then that plane is going to be designated a smoking plane because, God forbid, a non-smoker gets on like, I smell smoke.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's how I think all non-smokers sound.
Pretty close.
Yeah. But that would be my only thinking. As far as the smoking goes, the rest of it, I don't see why, Just offer a little bit of leg room. And if the flights were comparable or maybe just a little bit more, but you told me for a 4-hour flight that I was going to have more leg room and I wasn't going to be cramped in there, I might drop an extra $100.
Yeah.
And
Prices
then I'm
are
not
out of
stressed
control,
out.
too. Yeah.
They are, and they relate that all to, fuel costs.
Jet fuel is expensive. Yeah.
You've got unions. I think got Southwest pilots. Everybody's striking.
Yep.
It just goes to the price of everything's gone up.
Oy.
Yeah. So, I mean, those flights aren't going to go down.
So if we had a train system in the United States that was worth a shit, would you take a train instead?
I would like to. And, they're not incredibly expensive. I've looked at, taking trains and being a fan of North by Northwest. I'm like, hey, I could meet Eva Marie Saint. Now I'm going to be hanging off Mount Rushmore while I'm, being chased.
Yeah.
But that aside, I think my biggest fear is they always seem to derail.
But yeah, well, that's the way it is in movies, yeah.
But yeah.
Think of a movie
I want you
trains.
to search every outhouse, whorehouse, whatever house there is.
Yeah. Think of a movie with a train in it where something bad didn't happen. Is there any movies with trains that are pleasant? It's like
Yes.
Silver Streak, bad things happen.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Polar Express, maybe?
Throw Mama from the train? The train. Well, I mean, we're talking about the train itself. Mama died, but the train was fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't know.
I do. It's just black and white, and I'm trying to tell William Powell from Cary Grant. I don't know.
Strangers
There was
on the Train?
no. Oh yeah, no. But there was several of the Thin Man movies. They were on a train. Things
Yeah,
were
okay.
fine.
Well, that was a mode of transportation back then. It was.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like it is now.
No.
But I think there's actually a train you can take from here to Austin. Not incredibly expensive, but then you got to drive to the dodgy area of Dallas to
get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is that. But my dad took a train 15 years ago
Yeah.
to go see my sister in Michigan. He loved it.
Yeah.
Just didn't care about how long it took. It was probably about 4 days. Had an absolute blast.
Interesting.
And that I think that's just kind of a cool romantic type. And by romantic, I mean in the bygone era sense of travel.
Correct. Yeah.
It'd be kind of nice. And
It'd be nice if there were there's probably a good amount of hookers that ride trains, so it is a romantic kind of. You would think
that's the connection you hook up in Vegas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. Just have a nice, relaxing, dining car. You can sit in an area where you can smoke. You go to your room.
Can you smoke on trains?
No.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
kidding? We can't smoke anywhere.
That's true.
We're smoking here at your house in the garage. We can't even smoke in your house.
True.
So where else can we smoke?
Well, I'm going to get shit for this too.
Are you
the
really?
garage smells bad. Yeah. I'll get that.
Splash some gasoline around. She'll never know. After we're done smoking.
Right. Not
No,
now.
I think I'm the only guy who smokes in his house, and that's fixing to bite me in the butt because I'm going to have to replace all the carpet.
Yep.
But you know what? 10 years, man. 10 years I got to smoke in the house, and I knew once it was time to sell the house, that's what I was going to have to deal with, and I enjoyed it. So,
Yep. New carpet, new coat of paint. You're good.
yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
So, and it's more roomy than being on an airline.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Much more hospitable. Easier to get to.
Yeah. It's a nightmare, man. I mean, I have to do it for my job, and I'm not driving to Colorado. I'm not driving to Arizona, but
No.
yeah, I definitely take driving a car over flying in a plane any day.
My next flight's in November, and it will be a 2.5-hour flight to Detroit.
Yeah, mine's in 2 weeks. I'm going to Arizona.
You don't say.
I don't say.
Wow. Hey, what'd you say about stuffing people in the bag to...
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
All right.
They might make me check it. You might be down the cold, dark chasm of the luggage rack down there or whatever.
That's another thing. How much time have we got? Are we good here? Or do
Yeah,
we
we're
need
good.
to?
We're good.
As a cigar guy, a lot of the stuff that they're taking out of checked bags now. I've had guys have cutters removed from checked bags. And it's like, what am I going to do during the flight? Go down, grab my cutter out, and either A, perform a bris or threaten to cut the tip of your finger off if you don't take me to Cuba or, over to Iran? It's like, why are you taking cutters out of the checked bag? I get that you want the lighter empty, but if I'm taking my torch lighter and there's no fuel in it and I'm not allowed to take the fuel on, what is the risk?
Right.
And furthermore, why am I allowed to take just a soft flame lighter on board?
Yeah. Doesn't make any
it
sense.
makes no sense. And again, you go back to, it depends on the TSA agent on board. Now, I've been, knock wood, fortunate that my cutters have always gone through on my checked bag, and they've not taken any of my cigars. But I've had guys say that they've had that happen.
Yeah. I've been lucky. I mean, the only time I've ever had a cutter taken was on an international flight when I was going to the Dominican Republic. But other than that, if I check anything, the lighter and cutter go in there. It's always there when I get there. If I'm just taking my carry-ons, then I take the soft flame little Jeep and one of our crappy little, one of the freebie cutters.
Yeah.
They always make it on the plane, so I never have any problems with that.
He's not going to be able to cut anything with this, even a cigar.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, again, that classic overcorrection, when after 9/11, you can't take fingernail clippers. Okay. What am I going to do with those?
I think that's gone because I have fingernail clippers in my bag.
It is. Yeah. But I mean, it was just that okay, that's not going to do anything.
They almost took this, the Room 101 soft flame.
Yeah.
I had it in my carry-on, and they're like, whoa, 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 that's a torch. I'm like, no, it's not. And I flipped it, and I was getting ready to do it. He was like, don't touch that. He got his boss. He's like, give me that. And he put it in a bag and carried it off. And I was waiting 15 minutes for him to come back and go, yeah, it's a soft flame. I told you it was. He's like, well, I can't have you pushing the button. It might be an explosive button. This is an explosive device, really? Come on. I know I'm brown, but give me a break.
Wow. Hey, we could do an episode on profiling sometime.
There you go. Love to hate Mexicans. Wait,
no, that's not where I was going with it. I'm a friend.
It wasn't? Come on.
Do I sound like Trump if I say I'm a friend of the Mexican? I grew up in El Paso. Are you kidding?
I know.
Most of my high school graduating class was like you. That's. I'm a big fan of Mexican food too.
Yeah,
good,
me too.
Real Mexican food, not the crap they serve here. Tex-Mex.
You don't like Tex-Mex at all?
No.
Where do you get real Mexican food?
It's called Mariana's Taco Shop over in Frisco.
They closed it. I think
they
they're
reopened
moving it. Where is it? Where is it?
It's on 5th Street now.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I need to go there. I saw that once you told me it closed. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it was. It's not exactly like what I grew up with, but it's about as close as I've ever found in this area.
You're talking about the stuff in El Paso, right?
Yeah. It was. Good stuff. Oh yeah, I loved it. I mean, that was thinking about it, that was like a staple. I was thinking, wow, I eat that 4 times a week, 5 times a week.
Diarrhea was a staple?
No, your stomach gets used to it.
It does.
Then you're fine. Oh man, but when you get some really good hot food, you clear out the sinuses, and you have a cigar, you can just taste everything.
It's greatness.
It's fantastic. What the hell were we talking about?
Airlines. Yeah.
Airlines.
Oh, airline food. Airline food. Have you ever had a meal on a plane?
Yes, and oddly enough, a Mexican buddy of mine, Javier, we are flying from El Paso to Michigan, and long enough flight that dinner was served. It was a burrito, roast beef and cheese. And he'd had a couple of beers, at which point he loudly says, you know what? You just can't put anything in a tortilla and call it a fucking burrito. I'm like, would you
calm down?
Just
right.
Stop. And he's like, you can't. I'm like, I know it's not actually a burrito. It's roast beef and a tortilla. But
yep.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I had chicken and vegetables on one of my flights, and it was the toughest, worst chicken. I ate 2 bites, and I'm like, man, I tried the vegetables it was worse than a TV dinner. It was worse than that. It was just horrible.
And yet there used to be times they served you steak, and it was beautiful, and it was, here's your drink in an actual glass, sir.
Right.
Would you like a pillow?
Nope.
Are you comfortable? Yeah, now it's like, here you go.
Yep.
You want the rubber chicken, you want the rubber beef. Me, I don't care either way.
Right. Just
We're out of that.
Peanuts and call it a day.
See, and that's the other thing. With my peanut allergy, I will put on anytime I book a flight, yes, I have a peanut allergy. What do? They hand out peanuts anyway. It's like, this is great. I'm sitting here trying not to inhale while everybody around me is eating peanuts. It's like, that's great.
Yeah, but they have the pretzel option for you.
Yeah, for me, but if the 2 people next to me are eating peanuts.
It's that extreme that if you smell a peanut?
I have a bad Yeah.
Wow.
If I'm that close and I'm smelling it long enough, I'll start to have a reaction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if
it
anybody
is
makes
not
a
good.
peanut cigar, you're out.
I won't even try it. No.
Yeah, can't do it.
No.
So no
Won't
peanut
even
butter
s-
jelly sandwiches for you. That sucks.
No, I found something called sun butter. They make it with sunflower seeds.
Okay.
And people who eat peanut butter tell me it's nothing like it. But to me, it smells enough like peanut butter that the first time I ate it, I was like, this isn't good.
Thought you were going to have a reaction?
Yeah, because the way we found out was I had a peanut butter sandwich and was like, is he normally blue? And so that was kind of how we figured it out. So I remember that taste vividly.
Yeah.
And just anytime a jar of peanut butter opens, it's very potent.
Yeah.
So I know the smell. And to me, that sun butter has very much the same smell. Although I'm told, no, it's crap. It's not. But to me, it's like, I love this stuff. I'm like, woohoo, fake peanut butter.
Yeah. What
Little
about
jelly.
almond butter? Can you do almonds?
And it can't do almonds.
No almonds, no cashew butter, none of that.
No.
Nutella?
No, because that's got nuts in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No pecan pie.
So
My dad, from all accounts, made a fantastic pecan pie. Never got to have one.
Damn it.
Yeah.
So as long as it's seed related, you're good, but no nut related things.
Yeah.
No nuts in your mouth.
Thinking it's no nuts in mouth.
I was wondering if you're going to catch that.
What?
I was wondering if you're going to catch that.
I did. I was debating, do I let that go? Is it too hot? Anything with a pit.
Mm-hmm.
Peaches, I have an allergy, and a slight allergy to guacamole or to avocados,
okay.
which sucks because I remember chowing down on guacamole, and I'm just like, this is great. This is, and then all of a sudden my lip,
Yeah.
no anaphylaxis, but it was just, I was completely swollen up, my tongue swollen. It's
Like the cartoons, alum.
yes. It was like, damn it. This is really good.
Yeah.
Peanut butter, I was like, I could
So
take
how
it or
do
leave
you
it.
do the Chinese food thing? Because a lot of them use the peanut oil.
Gotta ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants that if it says peanut butter, it's like, I can't eat anything here.
Wow.
Because it
that
splatters.
sucks. Yeah.
And so even if you don't get fried food, it's coming into contact. Cookies, like at a fast food restaurant, won't touch them. Because
That's why I gave you the
they'll
cookie.
they'll often keep them next to, or they'll keep them in the little square box with peanut butter cookies.
Gotcha.
And even if they're underneath, learn this as a kid too. I ate a sugar cookie that was in a box with a peanut butter cookie.
Wow.
And
Gotcha.
still, I ended up in the hospital.
You are
that time.
messed up.
I am. Between
Man.
that and the blood stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
do me a favor. When we're done, would you just get a big pillow? And I've always said everybody needs a big Indian in their life.
Right.
Come here, Chief, and just suffocate me. So if you could do that,
Do it now. Put
that'd
me
be
out
great.
of my misery.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Then you don't have to pay your insurance or anything. So.
Exactly. Flashing back to last week.
Yeah.
Hey, we should probably wrap this up, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
for sure.
We've probably
We're done.
beat this to death.
So-
Thanks for listening again, kids. Hey, Brandon, if they wanted to listen to any of our old podcasts, where would they find it?
Go to Spreaker and check us out there. Download the app. You can listen to us on your phone. Go to YouTube and listen to us there. There's no video, but it is, something you can listen to.
better than looking at us.
Exactly.
And if they wanted to contact us via social media,
We had a conversation about that, didn't we?
We
So you can go
did.
to Facebook and like the page. You can send us the message there on that page as well, or you can also go to Twitter and tweet us.
Tweet us.
Tweeter us. Tweet it.
Tweet us.
Tweet
Twitter-
us. There,
tweet us.
Twitter.
Yeah, tweet us.
Yeah, don't Twitter. Don't tweet your Twitter. At Love to Hate Pod.
excellent. It's another week, kids. We'll see you next week. Take care.